Hey everybody. So for today's movie review, as you can tell by the 007 gun barrel sequence, I'm going to be reviewing the new Skyfall film for you today. So Skyfall, guys, is Daniel Craig's um, third time as James Bond. This film was directed by Sam Mendes, who did American Beauty and Road to Perdition and Revolutionary Road and a bunch of other big stuff. Um, so I've been excited for this film for a while simply because it's been said that Sam Mendes is a huge fan of James Bond. I guess he really liked Casino Royale back when that came out, and he didn't even mind Quantum of Solace. But in Skyfall, guys, it takes place where um, Bond is after a chip that has information about all these MI6 agents. And while he's trying to track down this chip, and there's this huge controversy as shown in the trailer where people think he's dead, and they're looking for other MI6 agents to go after this chip. It turns out while all this is going on, um, there is something even bigger at hands where someone who used to work for MI6 once is out for revenge to get M. M did something to him a while back that will be shown in the movie, but it won't be spoiled here. That causes this man who's played by Javier Bardem to want to seek out M and take his revenge on her and pretty much anybody who works for MI6. So Bond comes back to life through events that I don't want to explain, and it's up to Bond and his fellow MI6 employees to try to kill, this huge threat to the business, to the company, while also trying to make sure that this chip gets into the right hands. And there's several twists along the way that kind of, if you know Bond as well as I do, who Q is, and M, and if you know kind of the Ian Fleming origins of some of these characters. There's a lot of things in this film that you'll probably be able to recognize, specifically toward the end of the film, where um, that's kind of the new direction for the franchise in a way. Um, so Skyfall, guys, I really enjoyed this film. That's about as much as I want to say without ruining anything. And I also agree with a lot of people. Make sure maybe watch the teaser trailer. I would say the full length trailer, the 2.5 minute one, does kind of, it doesn't spoil things, but there's a lot of things that's like, oh well, that's from the trailer, that's from the trailer. There's just a lot of scenes in this movie that get shown in the trailer, and though that's cool, it doesn't give you enough surprises, I guess, for the movie itself. Um, there's something in my face there. But never mind. Um, as far as positives and negatives go, you guys, um, I liked how this film kind of reassigned where um, this franchise is going. Kind of, it's a unique way to. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. Um, kind of a unique way of bringing the franchise back. It's been 4 years since we last saw Bond, and so what they did with some of these characters I thought was really unique to kind of set up for the next Bond movie. Um, Javier Bardem plays a Javier Bardem plays a great villain in this. I like how he has kind of a personal connection to both 007 and M. It was just they did a lot of things with this character that kind of reminded me of Scaramanga and Trevelyan from Trevelyan being from GoldenEye and Scaramanga being from Game of the Golden Gun. That I think a lot of fans are really going to enjoy simply because um, it's something that we all want in a Bond film. Um, the viewer gets to experience things that are closer to Bond. We get to um, see some things, hear some history about some of Bond's past that we haven't heard yet at this point in the franchise. And it was very neat to see it played on screen because we really didn't get to see, um, where he kind of got trained to learn how to use all these weapons when he later joined MI6 and everything. So that was all very unique. The action scenes were very good in this. It definitely had a more realistic tone of James Bond that I think we're all going to want to see in future Bond films specifically. The French Bond girl in this film was very, very attractive. We only get to see her for a little bit, unfortunately. This definitely isn't one of the Bond films that focuses more on the Bond girls. It really doesn't. Um, but that's fine. Storyline's important too. But yeah, the Bond girl, not the Naomi Harris one. She was fine. But um, The one that Bond meets, for those who saw the film, you're going to know who I'm talking about, at like a casino night event thing in Shanghai. You get to kind of briefly see him talk to her in the Shanghai casino in the trailer also. Um, yeah, I thought she was very attractive, very, a lot of things about her I thought really kind of fit a Bond girl. So I was very happy with that. The opening and the opening credits in this were also very good. For those who know who Adele is, she did the opening credits song in this, which was very clever and it definitely fit what was going on in the opening credits. The opening scene really brought you into the movie. I mean, it was a great action scene. Definitely showed what Sam Mendes was telling you he was going to show you throughout the rest of the movie. So that was all very good. Um, as far as negatives go, you guys, I thought the film had a unusual absence of action at times. There was just a lot of times in movies like, well, they could have, showed an action scene there, or like there'd be times where you're watching the film and there's like a good 40-minute gap between one action scene to the next one. Um, there was almost some points in the film where the action kind of feels like it doesn't belong there in some sense. Um, Another thing I really didn't care for was I thought the new Q that they hired for this film really didn't fit the part too much for me. I felt John Cleese and the actor before John Cleese were a much better part for Q. To me, this new Q didn't really have much of a, because Q for me was always the kind of guy that would always give kind of a comedic comeback to Bond at some point or at some points throughout the franchise, and this new Q really didn't do it for me. He just kind of felt like a fresh out of college student that just so happened to know a lot about computers. Um, I think they really could have definitely casted a better Q. Definitely someone who was much older for the part too. Um, Daniel Craig unfortunately didn't improve upon the Bond character, and I really wish he did. Um, for those who liked Bond, Daniel Craig's Bond in the previous two Bond films, you'll probably enjoy him just as much here. Um, but because I haven't been as huge on Daniel Craig as let's say like Pierce Brosnan or Roger Moore or Sean Connery, I really wish they could have done something to this film where I walked out of the theater and saying, Daniel Craig really is Bond. Um, you know, I just don't think he doesn't have the presence of Bond in some sense, and I really don't like his kind of his anger management approach with Bond either. Um, so I really wish this film would have definitely convinced me in some way or some form that Daniel Craig really does belong in the James Bond role. Um, the film also never explains the significance of Skyfall, and they actually do talk about what the word Skyfall quite a bit in the film, and they never explain the significance behind it. They don't explain why it's called Skyfall, what exactly Skyfall is. There is one part where you kind of get the impression of what it might be, but they don't really go into detail of why it's specifically called Skyfall with this certain thing in the movie. Um, so I really wish they could have had more significance rather than just saying, well, it sounds like a cool name for a Bond movie. Um, but anyway, guys, I give Skyfall a 9 out of 10. Javier Bardem was great in this. Sam Mendes' direction was great in this. I liked the Bond girls they chose, specifically the French girl. Um, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but I kind of do like the whole reassignment of where the franchise is going toward the end of the film. Um, um, uh, I guess I'm looking forward to the next Bond film. This film definitely got me excited for whatever the next Bond film might be. I think it's been said Daniel Craig will play him one more time, and then I think they're going to once again hire another actor to play Bond again. Um, but either way, guys, really enjoyed this film. I hope the rest of you do too. Like I said, I give Skyfall a 9 out of 10. It's very good. So make sure you go see it if you like James Bond.